A major free agent has been spotted backstage at AEW Collision, but first, another All Elite Wrestling departure has been confirmed. Over recent months, we've seen a number of All Elite Wrestling contracts come to an end without being renewed, including the likes of Brian Pillman Jr. and Jade Cargill, who both have since signed for WWE, as well as other names such as Sonny Kiss and Zach Clayton. Well, we can now add another wrestler to the growing list of 2023 AEW exits. This past weekend, eagle-eyed fans would notice that AEW Dark talent Brock Anderson had been removed from the official roster on AllEliteWrestling.com, leading to speculation that he was no longer with the company. Since then, we've had a report from Fightful Select that the rumor is true. The report confirms that Anderson's deal with the company has now expired, and as of now, he's no longer signed to AEW. Brock would sign for the company following his debut in June 2021, where he was introduced as a member of Cody Rhodes' Nightmare Family stable alongside his father and manager Arn Anderson, with him since working mostly on AEW Dark and Dark Elevation. Since Dark's cancellation earlier this year, Brock has worked just one AEW television match and one Ring of Honor television match, with his last appearance for the company taking place on August 12, where he would lose to Luchasaurus on Collision in just over 5 minutes. And next, a major AEW star has made their return. AEW would host the latest episode of Collision last night, with the show opening up with a bout that was billed as a dream match between Bryan Danielson and Andrade El Idolo. In the end, it was the American Dragon that came out on top in their second ever singles match against each other. However, this isn't where the night ended. During the post-match scenes, the lights would go out in the arena, and when they came back on, Malachi Black was stood in the ring before he delivered a brutal black mass to the face of Bryan, knocking him out cold. The appearances wouldn't stop there, however, as later in the night, Malachi, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews would take out FTR before getting into an altercation with Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta during the main event. They would then align themselves with the BCC's opponents, Big Bill and Ricky Starks, this before Jon Moxley and FTR came out to even the odds. The angle is seemingly setting up a feud between the Blackpool Combat Club, FTR, and the House of Black, with this being the first time Malachi's been seen since the AEW All In London pay-per-view in late August, where he, Buddy, and King would drop the AEW Trios Championships to the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn. And next up, the Masked Man has returned to AEW. Several weeks back, Jay White would find himself on the end of a beatdown from several disguised men, with one of them wearing MJF's infamous devil mask. With that said, the current AEW World Champion has denied any involvement in the attack on his current rival, noting that the mask was stolen from him. Since then, the man in question has yet to be seen, with there being little follow-up on the angle. That was at least until last night on AEW Collision, where the mystery devil would reappear. On the show, Jay White would accompany Austin and Colton Gunn to the ring for their match with the Outrunners, this with MJF's AEW World title belt in hand. The match would be over in little over 2 minutes, with the Guns coming out on top, this before the celebrations were interrupted by a blackout. The big screen would then show the man wearing MJF's devil mask sat in front of a mirror, before quickly turning his head towards the camera before the video feed cuts out entirely. Switchblade would then be shown in the arena looking around to make sure that there was no impending attack before the segment came to a close. Right now, the identity of the devil has yet to be revealed, with there being several candidates on the fans' suspect list. Of course, you have MJF himself, as well as the likes of Adam Cole or even CM Punk, with fans wondering if their individual circumstances are somehow an elaborate work, or perhaps it's someone else entirely. With that said, it's still unclear when or where a reveal will take place. And next, Impact Wrestling is set to be renamed back to TNA Wrestling. Last night, the Impact Bound for Glory pay-per-view would air live from the Cicero Stadium in Chicago, Illinois. And ahead of the show, several surprises were teased, with this turning out to not only be in relation to talent appearances, but also a complete rebranding of the promotion. First, let's get to the surprise debut and return, starting with an appearance from former AEW wrestler Sonny Kiss. Sonny, who recently left All Elite Wrestling Wrestling, following the expiration of their contract, would make their Impact Wrestling debut in the 20-person intergender Call Your Shot Gauntlet, with the winner earning themselves a shot at any Impact title of their choosing. In the end, however, Kiss would be eliminated by Brian Myers and fellow surprise entrant Matt Cardona, who wrestled for Impact for the first time since losing the Impact Digital Media Championship to Joe Hendry in early 2023. Juventud Guerrera was another surprise participant in the Gauntlet, a match that was ultimately won by Jordan Grace. As for their futures in the company, it's been confirmed that neither Juventud nor Cardona have officially signed for Impact and were there on a freelance basis. This according to Fightful Select, with PW Insider noting that they are one-off appearances. PW Insider would add that going forward, Sonny Kiss will be a regular member of the Impact Wrestling roster, although it's unclear if an official contract has been signed. The PW Insider report would also give some details on a surprise that was considered for the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, that being an appearance from Ace Steel. Steel is said to have been at the show as a producer on a trial basis, and whilst his inclusion was discussed, Impact chose to not go ahead and put him in the ring in order to not build expectations of a CM Punk appearance later in the night. And as for the big surprise of the night, during the announcement for next year's Hard to Kill pay-per-view, which will go down in Las Vegas on January 13, 2024, a video package would confirm that at the show, Impact Wrestling will be reverting back to the Total Non-Stop Action Wrestling name that they used between the years of 2004 and 2017. In an official press release, the company confirmed that the new year will launch a new look TNA Wrestling with changes from entrance ramp to turnbuckles, with there also being a plan in place to run larger, more prestigious venues. It was also noted that TNA is the most popular and preferred name amongst its fans based on surveys and feedback. One of the questions many fans have had since the announcement relates to the infamous six-sided ring that TNA used during its early years from 2004 onwards, with both PW Insider and Fightful Select confirming that at this stage there's no plan to bring it back, with Fightful adding that wrestlers they've spoken to within the company are against it. This is likely due to the six-sided ring having a harder surface than the traditional four sides, with it also being a whole different ballgame in order to navigate the ropes. The announcement of the return of TNA Wrestling has been received well by wrestling fans online, and it will be interesting to see if the announcement will lead to new or lapsed fans tuning in to their weekly television product. But has the rebranding to TNA Wrestling caught your attention, and will you be checking it out come January 2024? Let me know in the comments down below. Next up, CM Punk has once again returned to television. Heading into last night's Impact Bound for Glory event, there would be speculation on if we'd see an appearance from Chicago's own CM Punk. This following a report from Wrestle Purist that revealed the promotion had offered a contract to the Second City Saint. Impact would seemingly attempt to capitalize off this hype when they teased a surprise appearance on the show. However, as we know, this turned out not to be Punk. However, CM Punk was in town last night, just not at the Impact show, as he would be in attendance for the Chicago Blackhawks opening game of the season against the Vegas Golden Knights at the United Center, with him doing more than just attending as a fan. Punk would appear as the host of a video package in the lead up to the game, prepping the fans to play their part in the team's success this season, adding that wins won't only come from the hard work of the team, but from the support of the fans. He would also be shown live on the big screen as his Cult of Personality entrance music played, with some even feeling that he was acknowledging the tribal chief in the process. And next, a major free agent was spotted backstage at AEW Collision. On October 1st, former Impact World Champion Sami Callihan would hit the free agency market following the expiration of his contract, with him yet to make a wrestling-related appearance since. With that said, Fightful Select would recently report that his former tag team partner Jon Moxley was pushing for All Elite Wrestling to sign him up, with WWE's Karrion Kross making a public plea for WWE to offer him a deal, with him wanting to open the door for the Death Machine. Well, it seems that one of the promotions in question is acting upon their request, as according to Bodyslam.net's Cassidy Haynes, Callihan was spotted backstage before last night's episode of AEW Collision, and he would write, Bodyslam.net has confirmed with multiple sources that Callihan is backstage at tonight's AEW Collision in Memphis, Tennessee. While asking around about the purpose of Callihan's visit, it was also confirmed to us that Callihan is there to potentially discuss both a deal to work as an on-screen talent and backstage with the promotion. The timing's certainly interesting given the new feud between Jon Moxley's Blackpool Combat Club and the House of Black, with Sami being a good fit to join either side during the upcoming rivalry. With that said, we have no confirmation on if a deal has actually been agreed to, but it seems the interest is there in the former NXT and Impact star. We now wait to see if WWE or any other company show an interest in securing his signature. And before you go, make sure you check out 10 masked AEW wrestlers unmasked.